cuties, besties, and ghosties. Welcome to my channel, Muertera. My name is Muertera. To everyone who is joining me again, welcome. I am so excited to have you back. For all of my new viewers, welcome home. I hope this channel is able to provide you some guidance and some comfort and maybe some lulls. I'm really excited today to dig into your predictions for the month of June. So I am filming this in June 2023. However, you can watch this at the beginning of any month or the beginning of any June in the future as well. We are going to be looking at your overall kind of theme for the month, so the energy that you're coming into the month with, what you're working on in terms of soul growth, and then how you are exiting. And then we'll peek into two different areas of your life and how that energy is impacting it. So both your career and finances and your love life. And I think I said that backwards. Usually I do love on the left and career on the right, but we'll dig into that. We have 3 piles, so if you've never done a pick a pile reading, I will have a section where I play a singing bowl and talk a little bit about the piles, the decks that are here, and you can kind of dig into the energy and feel out your pile. So as always, if this resonates, please do like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. Comments really help as well. So if you are called to, even if it's just a smiley face or a heart or, hey, this was my pile, I super appreciate that. So really excited to get into the message. If I do not see you in the pick a pile section, then I will see you in your reading. Okay, bye. Hello there, cuties. So welcome to your pick a pile section. On the left, we have the Santa Muerte Tarot, and we also have a piece of black tourmaline that is kind of split by this streak of quartz. Black tourmaline is a super grounding stone, and that little, I think they're called occlusion, that occlusion of white quartz just gives it a little bit of an extra jolt for cleansing and grounding purposes. In the middle deck, we have our Rainbow Heart Tarot, and I have a bundle of sage. Great for cleansing, great for communication with your spirits. And then over here, I think I have what this is written down over here from an old reading, because I just realized I did not pull it up. So let's see what this little friend is. Okay, this is barite with cerussite and galena, which is why I never remember what exactly it is, but it's a really beautiful stone. It has a few different types of crystals within it. And this is all about transformation, kind of grounding yourself, getting alignment, and then getting yourself in a place where you are really kind of harmonized within yourself and grounded, and can pursue your spiritual growth. So that is this stone. And then we have the Morgan Greer Tarot, which is actually, yeah, this was my first tarot deck. So started this journey for me. So kind of a good synchronicity to have a stone that's dealing with getting grounded for spiritual growth. Okay, so go ahead. If you are ready, pick your pile. You can click in the description for the timestamp. Otherwise, I'm going to play this singing bowl, and I will see you in your reading. Okay, little cuties, hopefully you have had time to choose one of your piles. And go ahead, again, click that timestamp, and I will see you over in your reading. Okay, bye. Hi, pile ones. If you pick this black tourmaline, then this is your reading with the Santa Muerte Tarot. I'm going to pull her off to the side, and then we are going to jump into oracles first. I have shuffled a few oracles. It'll be kind of like the standard reading I do for months, where we'll do oracles with energy that you're entering the month with, and then shifting to energy that you're kind of exiting with. And then we'll do love on the left and career on the right. And we'll use tarot for asking about those two. So for your overall energy for the month, we have spells and rituals, bringing magic and self-care together. When I shuffled this card, I kind of immediately thought about, like, boundaries definitely came up, but just kind of balance as an overall message. I think magic and self-care, I just get the feeling that it's really about two kind of opposing energies in your life really coming together in a blended way and really allowing you to move forward as a more integrated and more grounded self. And part of that is self-expression, but part of that is also knowing when to kind of put the brakes on and take time out for yourself. Like bathing is always a really important grounding practice, at least for me. So I think getting grounded and really finding that balance is going to be key for you in this month. Okay, for the energy that you are entering the month with, we have extended family, we have the fox, and we have the swan. And then for the energy that you are exiting the month with, we have a steady pace, and we have moth in reverse. So I feel like right now you are kind of taking stock of the amount of time, energy, effort, importance you put onto your family life and the connections around you. The fox really talks about being a stable, great partner. I think with the swan as the main energy, like the fox is a little bit of a background energy, I feel like here. Again, there's this energy of self-reflection. The swan talks about kind of taking time out for yourself, to really reevaluate and create that space for yourself for transformation. You also have the mirroring in the card and kind of a nod to as above, so below. I feel like this is you really taking time and carving out time for yourself to really get to know you, get to know what your goals are, figure out what you want to do in order for you to actually move that forward. I get this sense a little bit with the extended family card here. It's for some reason it's reminding me of like the 10 of Pentacles. 3 plus 7 is the number's 37. I don't know if you can see that, but it's number 37. 3 plus 7 is 10. I get this energy of like completion, of kind of like ideal family life. But I think for you, like maybe that family life or that structure or that time that you're putting into others, if you don't have a family or you're not in a partnership, it might be like a strong group of friends, or it might be work. Something that has to do with a group of people where you kind of play a role and you're contributing. I feel like you're really coming out of a time where that was your main focus. And you're kind of questioning the role that very kind of stable group of people has on your life and what that means for you and your growth. And I see this as a little bit of a shift of energy of you looking really externally and trying to figure out how you can fit in best, how you can contribute the most, and really shifting to a mindset of, okay, well, this group is very important to me. My family is very important to me. Like my career is very important to me. But how do I create space for myself? How do I create the life that I'm really looking for as well? It feels like the priority is kind of like shifting away from this group, not completely, but enough for you to kind of take stock and figure out where you're going. And then we have, as your exiting energy, we have a steady pace, and we have the moth. The moth is an energy that can get overwhelmed and kind of burn out easily. And I feel like this has happened to you, if not in the recent past, like definitely close enough to where you're really using that experience to figure out, how do I put down strong roots? How do I make sure that I'm building at a steady pace, not only contributing to the community that I belong to, but also making sure that I'm putting down good roots for myself, so I kind of can float out into the next area of my life and know that I'm also rooted. And I kind of see this moth almost as like flying downward. Like how do you create those roots? Like how do you root these flowers that are growing up in a way that's very healthy and in a way that's going to make sure that your community can thrive, and you can also maintain the level of personal development that you're looking for, or also figure out how to take care of yourself at the same time. It seems like you're starting the month already starting to kind of like reevaluate this, but it still is a little bit surface level. Like we're kind of in the forest at the beginning of the month, and then it transitions to, okay, well now we're actually starting to kind of go into the depths and figure out what's down there, what grounds us, what doesn't. Like how do we actually create a practice for ourselves in our life, whether that's like meditation, whether that's taking baths, whether that's just taking like, hey, love you fam, but I need a half an hour away from the kids like 2 or 3 times a week, or I need a morning out. And that's something that's going to help me stay centered and balanced and help me contribute to everybody else and to myself at the same time. And really just figuring out how to keep your cup full instead of giving and giving and giving and feeling depleted at the end of it. So this is really beautiful energy. I'm excited to look at the tarot. So we have the Santa Muerte tarot. Oof. I still have not broken in this tarot enough to really be shuffling on camera. I feel like every single time I pull it out, I'm like, ooh. Which I've shuffled it quite a bit. The cards are just, it's really a nice stock, but they are pretty thick and not super supple. Okay, so let's look at your kind of love and relationship sphere. I feel like a decent group of you like have a pretty steady partnership here, because this really is talking about kind of like a family unit, family group, although that could just be like the family that you grew up with as well, or again like a religious community, a really tight-knit group of friends. Let's see. Whoop. Wow. Okay, that card flew. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups. And then we have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, okay, so this is kind of like the burnout energy that I was talking about with the moth, like trying to build better coping mechanisms, so you can live life to the fullest and not feel like you're kind of like tilting at windmills. And then we have the Nine of Cups. Okay, so in your kind of relationship sphere, I do feel like I think you're coming out of a period where you have been giving a lot of energy to things that maybe aren't completely serving you, Um, this Five of Cups is interesting because the skeleton is kind of like sitting in the water, and kind of half in and half out, and we have that mirrored in the swan up here as well. And then there's a labyrinth within this skeleton's head. Like it's not. Are they looking down? I think that's their brains. Um, I'm thinking about like the labyrinth in is that Westworld? That show. I feel like whatever heartbreak has happened for you recently, this is a moment of reflection for you. Um, and we kind of have this scythe from like the Knight of Wands going in. It's almost like you're really able in the beginning of this month to take a look at what's happened in the past, and really synthesize that and figure out how you can create more satisfaction for yourself. It's actually it's a really beautiful energy. I feel like it's a lot of like clearing out of old ways of thinking that have really been conditioned into you that really aren't serving you moving forward. And the way that you're really getting this information and getting these downloads is by kind of listening within. I feel like you are taking a lot of time, and actually actively carving out time for yourself to just kick it alone, and away from kind of groups of people. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to allow you to figure out how the hell you're going to fill your cup. And once you actually do the work of clearing that out and figuring out what you need, you're going to come back even stronger. Like we talked about kind of like setting down roots and really starting to settle into, a steady pace. Like you're going to come out as the Nine of Cups and really have a good understanding of what you want moving forward. And then you can kind of take the step towards that 10 of Cups moment. And this is a general reading. So that 10 of Cups could be a variety of things. Like we're not really constrained to one thing here. But that could be a renewal in the relationship that you're currently in. That could be taking a step in a new relationship. Or that could just be reestablishing the relationships around you so they're able to kind of help you search for that final cup. And I do feel a lot of support for you, from the universe. This feels like almost the culmination of a lot of work that you've done. And I feel like the people that are around you, the people that stuck around, the people that are supportive of this, I feel like they're the ones who are sticking around. And all of a sudden you have this network that looks a little bit different than it has before. And it's really supporting and allowing you to do this work and to take these steps for yourself. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. It's really nice to see our work pay off. And I feel like you are going to see a lot of work that you've put in over time start to pay off in this month in a real tangible way. And that's just beautiful. I mean, we do the work so we can see that, like the impact of it. But I do feel like a lot of times we kind of get lost with that, and we get lost taking all these tiny steps and forget to look back and see that, oh, all these tiny steps culminated in this huge leap. And I feel like if you look back to when you started this work, you're going to see a lot of progress, and it's going to be really amazing. Okay, so let's see what this is going to look like kind of in the career sphere. Okay, is this the Nine of Swords? I just heard like divisive and decisive. And we have the Ten of Pentacles. I told you this was giving me kind of Ten of Pentacle vibes. It actually, all these little plants, it kind of looks like it too. Wait, is this the Six of Swords? Oh my god. Okay, so you have the Nine of Swords and the Six of Swords. Yo, I don't even know what way... Dear Lord. How did these numbers go? Okay. I need to check myself right now. Okay, so this is... No, this is the Nine of Swords. Okay, I was right. Was that? That's the Nine of Swords. This is the Six of Swords. Okay, that checks out. That checks out. Does that mean this was the Six of Cups? I'm going to leave it as the Nine of Cups reading it. Because that's what I got from it, and that's what I'm sticking with. The numbers on these cards are kind of confusing. If you... Sorry, I just like blabbed about numbers, but is this... Like, look at this. Is this a 6 or a 9? I can tell. Okay, so over here we have the Nine of Swords, we have the Ten of Pentacles, and we have the Six of Swords. Kind of interesting, we have this like mothy butterfly, this green mothy butterfly. We have a green moth up here. I feel like this is going to have ripple effects, this kind of whole energy, and also the way that you're showing up in relationships. It's going to make things very clear for you. I feel like this like Nine of Swords might have been reversed. A lot of times we kind of carry the stress and the burdens from our personal relationships into other areas of our life, and vice versa. I feel like the clearing of emotional baggage that you are going to be kind of working through in this month is going to have an immediate impact on the way that you interact with people at work, the way that they view you. Like, you're going to show up as a lighter version of yourself, and a much more stable version. And that's not to say that like you're not stable. I don't get that energy at all. But this is going to be like a very significant healing for, I mean, I want to say like a root chakra healing, like it's the color of green, but it's just the stability in your life. You're really learning to kind of take what you have and take little steps and build something super solid. And that is going to echo in your career, and open up pathways for you. If you have been kind of confused about what direction you're going, I think having stability in your life and in your family unit, in the community that you're grounded in, is going to allow you to take kind of greater risks at work, and also figure out what direction you really want to go in. I really see, like, I kind of feel like it's like opening a crack for you. And once you see that crack of light, like, you know exactly where to go. And if you've been having doubts about the direction your career is moving, know that this foundation is really going to bring a lot of clarity for you. This diving deep within yourself is going to bring clarity. Like, once you dive down, you are going to also rise back up and have a far greater understanding about what you're looking for. And you'll know how to kind of chart the path to smoother waters to get there. So this is really beautiful energy. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. I think this is all that I have for you this month. You're going to do awesome. Again, this is really beautiful energy, and really amazing that you're seeing the fruits of your labor, and you're seeing all of this amazing self-work pay off. So if this resonated, please comment, subscribe, like. All those things really help me grow my channel. I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful to have you here. And until next time, protect your little heart, and I will see you in another reading. Okay? Bye. Hi, Pile 2s. If you chose this sage bundle, I don't know why I just had a little brain fart right there. And this beautiful Rainbow Heart Tarot. This is your reading. Look at me, jumping all over my words already. Should be a good one. Okay. So for your central energy for this month, we have Balsamic Moon. Things come and go. Surrender to the universe. As your energy that you're entering the month with, we have Innocence. And we have the Nightingale in reverse. And then we have the approach of spring and treading carefully as the two energies that you are leaving the month with. And then we have the rabbit. I just heard, like, is it safe now? Okay. I'm hearing this song. It's The End of Innocence. Who's that by? Like, and this kind of reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune a little bit. I feel like you are kind of coming to the end of a cycle, or you're ready to let go a lot of, how do I want to say this? A lot of patterns and ways of being and thinking that have been programmed into you by society. Like, it feels kind of like a fresh new start. And with the Nightingale, it feels like you're moving from a stage, like, it feels like childhood, where childhood we kind of run around free, you sing, you scream, you don't really have any like responsibilities, you don't really have a role to play. There is just this giant freedom. And I feel like you are starting to get to a point in your life where you realize that that freedom really can't continue into into adulthood. And it's not even a freedom that you actually really want to bring into your adulthood. I feel like the concept of freedom, I keep on like thinking about freedom, and I feel like that's really what you are trying to figure out for yourself, is how you create a lot more freedom in your life in a way that makes sense for you now. I see this woman and she's almost like reaching up to the moon, and she feels like she's gonna grab it to swing or something. Um, and I feel like you're building up this trust and confidence in the universe that good things are coming for you. And you're learning to really let go of the things in the past that don't really serve you. And I think some of this wake-up call kind of came as a surprise. I don't think that you realized like the amount of changes, the degree of changes that were coming for you. And it did create some kind of turbulence for you. Like, a nightingale is not a large bird, and there's all these like this wind blowing in this card. And I feel like you're really learning to kind of let the universe blow you in a direction that is best for you, and trying to kind of relinquish a little bit of control, and maybe like relinquish like a gripping of holding on to some of the like past notions you had about freedom. It's kind of really what I'm getting. For your energy that's you're leaving the month with, I feel like you're still a little bit unsure. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like, it feels like you've been blown around a bit over here, and all of a sudden your life starts to take root. And I felt this energy in Palo 1 as well. And I mean, maybe it's this deck. This deck has a lot of kind of rooting images. But But the approach of spring talks about like literally blooming. And all that energy, like going through kind of a hard winter, paying off. And I feel like you're learning to kind of trust. Even this little rabbit looks like it's kind of peeking out, almost like a little groundhog. And I kind of get that energy from you. Like you're not quite sure spring is here. So you're just gonna kind of peek your head out of the hole, see what's going on, tread carefully. It's not, you're not like jumping out of the hole. You're not you're not super confident yet. And I feel like that confidence is something that's going to build for you over time. And as you kind of take little baby steps towards your goals and really trust in yourself and your intuition that you're being guided in the right direction, you're putting down the roots now to build that confidence over time. And I think one day soon, I don't think this is very far off in the future. I think one day soon you're going to start realizing, like, wow, I would have questioned I just said no to that opportunity because I decided that it wasn't right for me. And you're not really going to think about it. You're not going to stress about it. You're just going to say, these are my goals. This is where I want to go. This doesn't align with them. Like, no, thank you. Whereas before, I feel like you had an attitude almost that there's no way that somebody would offer you something that like wasn't good for you, Like they couldn't have ulterior motives. And that's part of like this innocence and kind of freedom that's leaving. Now you're starting to kind of evaluate things and like look at it with a little bit more of a critical eye and say, okay, this job offer, like, is it good for me? Is it really just good for that person? Okay, well, no, thank you. I'm happy where I'm at, or I'm going to take a different offer. And it might feel really weird at first to kind of make these decisions. But at some point, you're going to start just making them intuitively and trust yourself that saying no or making this decision is the right move for you and not even think twice about it. And I feel like one day you're going to wake up and be like, whoa, when did this happen? Because I really feel that energy from you right now of just like really building that confidence and confidence in yourself. That you are making the right decisions and you are going in the right direction and you were like, you can trust your intuition. Really cool energy. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking so we can move on to the tarot. If I can pull her up. Okay, Spirit. What is waiting for our beautiful Palo in their love and relationships for this month? Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles. And we have the Six of Cups. Oh, that's such a happy card. I don't think I've ever pulled that out in this deck. I love it. And we have the Seven of Swords. Okay. This is interesting. I really feel like with this innocence energy, like there has been an energy in your life where you have been very trusting of other people. And it's kind of like, we just talked a little bit about this, but trusting that their intentions for you were above board, trusting that, like they're taking your feelings and your wants and needs into account. And I feel like that hasn't actually always been the reality for you. I feel like people have approached you with ulterior motives. And they've tried to kind of present it as this this beautiful piece of fruit. But when this card comes out in this deck, like, if you know anything about like Persephone and Hades, Persephone basically was kidnapped by Hades and dragged to the underworld. He wanted to make her his wife. And before she was rescued, I think by Demeter, her mother, then Perseus, I think, was the one who helped find her. She ate 3 seeds from the pomegranate because she was just honestly freaking bored in the underworld. There was nothing to do. And because of that, oh, this is trippy too because you have the approach of spring. Because of that, she had to go back down into the underworld for winter. And that's why we have, I mean, that's the Greek mythology reason of why we have seasons, right? Like, Demeter is the goddess of I guess, like, agriculture, and not plants. I guess agriculture is like the closest thing that I can really think of, but when she like loses her daughter down to the underworld for 3-6 months of the year, she gets very depressed, like everything dies. Before then there weren't seasons. The good thing is I don't think this is going to happen anymore for you. I think this is a really like positive message, that these patterns of the past, these kind of look like cupcakes too. I feel like you have taken people at face value, taken less than what you deserve, allowed for things like breadcrumbing or really shitty excuses, people not showing up the way that they say they're going to. And I feel like Spirit is basically helping you put a stop to that, where you're going to start noticing, like, okay, well, you say you have 7 swords, but you're actually holding 5. Like, what's up with that? Are you actually offering me a beautiful gift? Or are there strings attached to it that I don't quite realize? And I think you're going to be stepping into an area where you can really recognize when somebody's coming to you with reciprocity. Like, I love in the 6 of Cups, like, there's these 2 people and they're just like, hey, here's a cupcake with plants on it. And it's just very bountiful and happy. And I think this is the direction that you're starting to really take your relationships, and Spirit is setting that up so you can start trusting the people around you, trusting your decisions, trusting your intuition. If somebody feels off, they're going to nudge you and be like, is that really all that there is here? And I think some of this, like, things come and go. I think a lot of this energy is realizing that, like, these relationships tie you down and weigh you down to where you can't really show up the way you want to for yourself. And you're going to be more willing to kind of turn your back on things that aren't really going to serve you moving forward. And just building that discernment and building that confidence in your discernment. Like, nope, this isn't for me. This feels weird. Like, I'm just going to take a beat, figure out how these people are showing up. Okay, well, this was confirmed. See you later. And I feel like it's going to give you such a clearer view of who you are, what you need, and what you want. And like, spring is going to approach, and it's going to feel weird at first, I think saying no is something that's like a little bit newer for you. But someday really soon, it's going to start feeling not so weird and actually feeling really good. Okay, so how is this energy, Spirit, going to manifest in the career space? Whoop. That came out really weird. Okay, we have the 8 of Pentacles. I said, I work hard for the money. And we have 5 of Pentacles. I work hard for the money. have the Star. Okay. So I really feel like this is going to help you build a lot more focus for yourself and direction. And there's almost this energy here of disappointing others. I don't really see it, like I see this Five of Pentacles, and kind of like a little bit of two ways. Generally, the Five of Pentacles like depicts two people kind of freezing out in the cold. And in the church, like the church would be warm if they just kind of opened themselves up to going into the church, then they would be totally fine. But instead of doing that, they're kind of wandering out in the cold. And then we have the approach of spring, and we just talked about like Persephone and kind of those like winter metaphors. I feel like part of your discernment is trying to figure out like saying no sometimes causes disappointment for other people and it causes them to feel let down. And I feel like you're really starting to release the burden of letting other people down. Like it just kind of is going to lose its importance for you. And that's not to say that it's not important. It just means that your dreams are much more important to you. Like your direction at work is much more important to you. We've got all these kind of like masks behind this dude holding a unicorn. And I almost see this as like everybody else has a plan for you. And up to this point, it feels like you've been kind of just going along with that plan and trusting that everything's going to work out and they have your best interest in mind. And all of a sudden, you saying no to these things is going to start disrupting other people's plans. And not everybody is going to like that. That's just the way it is. But I feel like this is you kind of stepping out of a winter, like coming in from the cold, moving out of this Five of Pentacles energy. And unfortunately, that does mean that other people are going to be disappointed when you say no. But I think this is a very healing energy for you. This is going to help you connect to your purpose and move in the direction of your purpose. And it's also going to help you gain that confidence and start moving forward and taking steps for yourself. Yeah, I don't think I have a ton more to say about career here. I think Spirit just wants you to know, like, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take this kind of day by day. This is all about building up your confidence. So don't feel like you have to like jump in and, aggressively say no. Sit with things, like try it out, see how it makes you feel. And just trust that things are moving in the right direction for you. And this is all in service of something. Like you are building a life and a path for yourself and bounty for yourself. And I feel like this period, this kind of transition to spring for you has kind of put you in a state where you may have like questioned the universe plan for you or felt like you were cut off from spirit. And they just want you to know that they are still there. Like they're there for you to access. I think this is just more about figuring out a different way to access that information and trusting that you have it within yourself. you're not relying on anybody else for a connection with the universe. And I think they want you to know, like, all of your gifts are within you. They don't actually come from other people. So you don't have to look externally for somebody to like give you a job or help you out in a career or fulfill your happiness. Like, people are going to come in your life that help you with those things, but really it's because of the light within you. It is a reflection of you. It is not because of them. They just said, so own it. Seriously though, like, so own your decisions. Yeah, that's all I have for you. This is a really cool energy this month. I'm really excited for you. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. I love chatting with y'all in the comments. Even just like adding a little heart or a little smile, it really helps me out. I'm so grateful to have you here. Yeah, let me know how this month goes. And above all, protect your little heart, and I will see you in another reading. Okay, bye. Hello, pile threes. If you chose this, I think barite, this is your reading with the Morgan Greer Tarot. Whew. I'm feeling something in your pile, and I like it. Okay, so for your central energy, we have the witch's hat, which is kind of funny because this sage has been reminding me of a witch's broom like this entire time. And then, should we give her a little vanity crystal? Let's give her a little vanity crystal. Cover up. Okay, for the energy that you're kind of coming into the month with, we have deliverance, and we have the starfish in reverse. And then we have containment of potential, and we have the spider and the oyster. This is some really cool energy. Okay. So the starfish is an energy that can be like almost a little bit superficial. I'm not like getting that energy specifically from it, but what I am getting is like, I think you're coming into this month really reevaluating your attachments to the external world and how you really want to show up in the external world. It almost feels like this energy of, with deliverance, like you're ready for a fight, or you're ready, like that's a bad way to put it, but like you're ready to shake things up. I think the way that you have been engaging with your life and people around you has been more kind of like by the books. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to do well in school, and then I'm going to get a good like score on my SATs, and I'm going to take some AP classes, and then I'm going to go to college, and then I'm going to get married, and then I'm going to get a golden retriever and a house in the suburbs and a nice hatchback, and I'll have a white picket fence. It feels like you kind of had a plan for your life, and something just came in and kind of took it. And because this is a general reading, like that can kind of, what that was will differ across all of you, but it feels like it was pretty sudden and really shook you up. And I don't see this as a negative shakeup. I feel like this almost like saved you from those plans. Like at some point you had just kind of been chugging along with this path, and you kind of realized like on a certain level that it wasn't really working for you and it wasn't who you were anymore. But it feels like a little bit like path dependence. Like you were so far down it that it was like, well, I'm already halfway through my MBA. Am I going to stop? Nah, I guess I'll just become a consultant. Is it really what I want to do anymore? I don't know. But, I don't think my art's going to pay the bills. So I don't think I'm going to do that. And I feel like this is really like opening you up to really figure out how to live your life with a little bit more balance, but also in a way where you can show up authentically as yourself, as opposed to just this like, it almost feels like your little cardboard doll and somebody else like chose out your little outfits and like put them on you. You know, you're just kind of like, well, I guess this is what I'm wearing today. Like, I didn't pick it. I also haven't seen the Barbie movie, but I did see a little like clip where they're all dancing and having fun, and then all of a sudden she's like, "But what is death?" Which I thought was really funny. And maybe I need to go see that movie. Maybe you need to go see that movie. But I see it like that, where like you've been living life in this kind of like cookie cutter way, or in this almost like this dream or plan you had for yourself when you were younger, and all of a sudden it just didn't make sense anymore for you. And this month you're really working on figuring out, how do you express yourself authentically? How do you bring more of you into your life, as opposed to this kind of game you've been playing? And this deliverance card, the number is 40, and it's kind of reminding me of like the four of or not the Four of Pentacles. Oh, kind of actually. Okay, so like, but the Four of Wands, like this kind of like happy, warm, homecoming ending. But then there's also the zero there, and it's like, how do you kind of recreate this plan and this path to happiness in a way that is fresh and new for you and really aligns with who you are now? The Four of Pence feels like, you know, like starfish like grip onto rocks. It feels like you'd been gripping a little bit, and all of a sudden, like, it's almost like you have this little like gush of water that's kind of just cleared out the obstacles and giving you a little bit more more information and more insight into how you can change up what you've been doing. With the energy that you're going to be leaving the month with, it's really figuring out how to manifest that realization into the world. Like, we have the containment of potential. It's like this light within this mountain. And then we have the oyster, and the oyster is just kind of like crammed shut. But there's these light rays just waiting to burst outside of it. And the spider is all about creating like weaving the web of life and putting those ideas out and really like making kind of that master plan. And I feel like, you know, when I shuffled these two cards out too, so many cards just splatted out. The oyster fell right in place. The spider kind of shot out. I feel like you're moving towards the spider moment. And it's really when you realize that you don't need anything externally. Like, you really have everything within you to create the life and the dreams that you're looking for. And once you allow yourself to kind of break out of this shell, break out of these like self-limiting beliefs about who you need to be in order to be successful, that's really when you're going to get the insight of how to move forward and how to be successful in a way that's very authentic to you. This is very beautiful. I mean, this could be like a career change. This could be a side project that you have. Like, maybe you do need to keep a steady career for now, but you're kind of considering other avenues. You take a new job that's going to, you know, give you more potential for growth in the future. I feel like there's going to be some significant changes for you that are going to like start breaking through towards the end of this month. Okay, so let's move on to tarot. We are going to, oh my gosh. Once in a while, honestly, just in this deck, like, I shuffle in, I should just throw these cards out, but I shuffle in the explainer cards because they look exactly like the regular cards. Breaks my brain every single time. But I just heard like the rest is just unwritten. Is that like the Natasha Bedingfield song? Live your life with arms wide open. Like, it's definitely an energy of kind of intense joy, and also just being willing to kind of shed the past, being willing to break with traditions that no longer serve you, or commitments that no longer serve you. And I feel like the biggest thing is you've committed to a path. I feel like a little bit of a type A energy from this pile, I'm not gonna lie. No hate. But I feel like there is kind of like a stable life path that you've almost like committed to, and it's been in your mind for so long that it's really hard to kind of break out of that mentality, even if it's not really truly what you want anymore. Like, you've been working so hard for it for so long. But I mean, that path is what got you here. It might not take you where you need to go next, but there was a purpose for it, you know? Okay, so Spirit, what's going on for Pal 3 in the next month? We have Temperance. Oop. Okay, we're going to take all these. And then we have the Star. And you get a vanity crystal. Everyone gets a vanity crystal. We have the Six of Wands, and then we have the Page of Swords. Okay. So I don't know if I have that much to say about this. To be perfectly honest, I think we just talked a lot about kind of reconnecting to your purpose and who you are and who you want to be. These are really cards, like Temperance and Star together especially, are really cards of integration for me. Both of these I don't know. Temperance might be a gal, Temperance might not in this deck. I'm not really sure. But both these figures are like half in the water and half out. And I feel like at some point you started developing outside of whatever plan you had for yourself, or whatever plan society had for yourself. And it was almost like these two aspects of you were kept separate from one another. And you're really trying to figure out how to blend them together to really lead a more cohesive life. I think this is something that, like, you're going to have success with. We have the Six of Wands here. What I think is going to be a little bit difficult at first for you is actually expressing this to other people and talking about your plans. We have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords can be a little bit inept at communication. You know, he's just a page, he's learning how to do it. I think this is a brand new area for you. It is something that might surprise a few people because they've seen you so driven and so kind of committed to one path, that jumping off of that might be a little bit of a shock to them. But I mean, it's not their life, it's yours. You may feel like in the beginning you don't know how to talk about what you're going through. You don't know how to talk about this journey, about your new desires and how you are changing, and how this is going to like really help you create the life that you're looking for. But again, you're going to be ultimately successful with this. Like, people will start to understand over time. But if you get a lot of pushback at first, it's really just there to help you crystallize how to communicate this and how to motivate your desires, not only just to the people around you, but also to the universe, and really being able to get clear and say, okay, these are my goals. Now I'm going to figure out how to set these out and start making moves towards these new things. I feel like a lot of this has been like very cerebral in your head so far and hasn't really translated so much into the physical world. It's kind of this inkling, this like thought bubble that you haven't really, almost you haven't wanted to look at, because you know that it was going to require a lot of change and you weren't quite ready to do it. And it almost feels like you're kind of like, it's like you're pulling, you're like pulling these thoughts down from the heaven a little bit, and learning how to ground them and get them down into the real world. It's kind of like it feels very like cerebral and kind of like thought bubbly mushy at this point. But it's going to start crystallizing and start, like, you're going to start taking steps towards it, and it'll start taking shape. Okay, Spirit, what about career? What's this going to look like? Okay, so we have the Three of Wands. I think for your career, this is going to be a change of direction. I'm going to leave the Hierophant on its side because I feel like, again, there's just this energy of shifting commitments. The Hierophant is about commitment. It's about, it can be about marriage, following society's norms and expectations. And I feel like you're flipping the script a little bit for this. It's going to be something that brings out a lot of joy for you, a lot of freedom in your life. But it may require a shift. Like, for some reason, I keep on thinking about somebody like taking the LSAT and then like ultimately deciding not to go to like law school, or dropping out, or maybe you wanted to be kind of like a high-powered attorney and you decided you wanted to go work for a nonprofit or something like that. Your life just didn't support those goals anymore. And that's all right. I think it's all about creating that inner happiness for ourselves. And the sun is such a beautiful card here. This is going to create a lot of joy, a lot of passion, a lot of fire for you, especially if you've been feeling like a little bit dimmed out because your life wasn't really supporting who you were anymore. And this is just a message that I think a lot of this has to do with your career, to be perfectly honest. I think we've been talking a lot about that this entire time. I don't really see this as really being a time that's focused a lot on relationships for you. The relationship part seems like it's, at least for this reading and the changes that are happening this month, it's more about communicating these thoughts and feelings to other people because they may be a little bit unexpected from what they've come to expect from you and what you've communicated in the past. But most of these changes are really going to be centered around your career, your goals, what direction you're going, and how you can bring in kind of your full self into the picture, because you have developed a lot and you have grown as a person, and you are no longer who you were when you made these plans. Whether this is a plan that you've had since you were like 14 or a plan that you created in college, something like that. It doesn't seem like it fully suits you anymore. So Spirit is just saying like adjustments are needed so you can really integrate yourself into it, your new self, who you are now. So this is really amazing energy. I'm so curious. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. I'm so excited for you to really create this new beginning for yourself and figure out the next step in your direction. Really like take the potential within yourself and weave that web of life. So yeah, I'm just really excited for you and so grateful to have you here. So keep your little heart safe, and hopefully I will see you in another reading. Okay, bye.